Hi, everybody. This is the weekly rune for the week of October 26th. We are in Gebo now as of the 28th, and we'll stay in Gebo until the 13th of October. Gebo is the rune of partnership, and people often erroneously associate that with romantic alliance. And it could be that. It's not that it is never, but that's just too narrow. That's too constricting to put Gebo in. It's really about the synergy of what happens when you realize relationship. The partnership itself is a gift. There is a gift that is exchanged in the partnership that's inherent. And then there's the fact that the relationship itself is its own like third party that is a gift, and the bonding of the two beings. Now, I often hear people question, does it have to be only two people? Can it be community? I don't know. I know that other runes represent multitudes of people and social components, and this one is typically about partnership, however that shows up. So that's what I'm going with on that note. Gabo comes after the point that we have figured out that we have agency. We don't necessarily know what we're doing with it yet. That doesn't refine until we get into the second et. But we know by the time we get to Gabo that we have agency. And this is the rune where we figure out that when we combine it with the agency of other people, holy smokes, do things really get going. We know that when we can combine efforts, that we get things done. We manifest, we make change, we get people's needs met. We get whole communities' needs met when we combine our agency. And how timely is that? That is what the challenge is right now, is for everybody to get on the same page of saving everybody. And who would have thought that would be so hard to do? So let's see what our complementary rune to Gebo is. We have Ingwaz. Is that right to left for you? It's right to left for me. We'll see. So Ingwaz is curious and interesting. I was listening to a thing on the ascension of the Swedish kings and how Engvi is the like originating source of that line. And Engvi is associated with the rune Ingwaz. He is one of the sons of, blanking out on his name. Can't get to it. Know who it is. Ingwaz is about that kind of tenacity. It's about the survival that comes out of incredibly difficult times. And you could even say, because like this is the third et, you could even say that the beginning part of the third et suggests that parts of us did not survive. So like, yes, we have Tiwaz, and we come after that with the healing of Rakana, and we flow through until we get to Ingwaz, that says this new awareness is born from that. And the story with Ingwaz and his dad, whose name I can't remember, is what we do for the descendants. It's about what we do, again, to meet needs, not just of the community that's right in front of us, the partnership that's right in front of us, but the partnerships that are on the way, the partnerships that we haven't even dreamed of yet. And that's kind of where I go in the relationship of this rune, like just anytime it comes up. Yes, it's about the center of this cross section more than anything else, and how what is in that is like the birth or the birthing of that sacred seed that happened way 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 back in the second that of Isa, which we haven't gotten to in this calendric season yet. So that jump forward from partnership, that is the synergy of agency. It's the ability to create impact when you put your effort and your agency together. I'm flipping that Othala over because that's extra. But the synergy of this partnership met with this power to make sure that everybody is okay, and quite possibly to reinvent even further what your idea of partnership is, in that this is sort of implying descendants. It's implying consciousness that may not be born if we don't do this. Things that things that don't get lined up with this setting up of the dominoes may not get to happen if we don't have a relationship in how we're aware of Gebo now, the impact of Gebo now. It tends to be so focused on like one other person, and it's always about gift and gratitude and all of that. It's not that it's not on the table, but I think it's too small. And I think it is way too small for what's happening in our everyday lives right now. Meaning, our job is to make sure that everybody is looked after, to learn how to make sure that everybody's needs are met. And we can't even decide, well, our leadership and apparently a significant constituency of our citizens in the American settler experiment can't even agree that we should be thinking along those lines. And yet, that's nature. Nature tends toward balance. That's what it does. And we don't always get to choose what balance is. That's not what I mean. But we tend toward what makes our needs be met. And anything that pushes against that is literally pushing against nature. It's pushing against sacred order to some degree. And I'm going to just call in the allies around this cast. I'm not going to go through all of the directions and the elements and the seasons. I'm just going to do my ritual approach to calling it all in and hold space for it while I do the Galder. And thank you for your patience and understanding with that. It's been a week. All right. I want to foremost hold gratitude to these rooms, to Gebo this week, our time with it over the next few days, and for Ingwas being the reminder to expand our awareness of what partnership really is. And I want to create a moment with this video that is a place, it is a time, it is an intersection where everyone who's listening can choose to stand in this moment while we open space if you want to. The roots of our spaces unite and meet, the breezes of our spaces, the streams of our spaces. Where these collide is where our moment is. It's where we can stand at the same time experiencing these rooms, this room past and this Galder. I ask the directions to come into the space with us. Be the foundation. Be whatever it is that's the most needed for these runes to be abundant in our life, their energy be felt, and us have the awareness to know how to move with them and do what they ask of us for our communities this week. And I ask the elements that need to come in, even if one stands out to each of us and it's a different one to each of us, go with it. I ask the elements to come in and be the bouncers of the space that the directions and our container have created. What comes in goes in, what goes out needs to go out, and what remains in our space is what we focus on, is what we give our attention. That may be tending, that may be gratitude, it may be burning it with fire. It's whatever it needs to be. That's the agency that the elements bring. And I ask the season that we are each experiencing to be what holds us in this space. What each of us needs it to be. and to go with the pace that that season tells us, to exert ourselves with the pace that that season tells us, to hold on to our energy in the way that that season tells us to preserve it. And I ask each of our well ancestors, I ask each of our allies who wish to be in this container with us at this time, and I invoke the sacred of each of us who choose to stand in this container together. The Galder that we're working with this week is for Gebo, 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 Gif, Gifu, and Ingwas or Ingus, Ingwa, Ingu. As ever, the way that you feel led to pronounce these in the Galder is how you should pronounce them. And if that changes one syllable to the next, one iteration to the next, go with it, because it's not about how you're thinking about it. In fact, it's how you're not thinking about it and letting body drive and be in relationship with the runes on the breath, however it needs to be. And being able to surrender to that is its own kind of partnership. The way that this Galder is feeling for me right now is Gebo, Gifu, 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 Gebo, Gifu. Interesting. I feel that in my legs, specifically my knees. And that's interesting because I've literally run my butt off this week, and I have felt so tired. Like I don't even want to sit. I just want to lie down. I can't. I mean, sitting is too much. So it's interesting that I'm feeling that where I have felt the most um, duress this week. And it just feels like a helping hand energetically. This it's non-specific, no particular direction or emotion or state of being, just a helping hand. And that is a partnership extension that I will take. I hope that you're all doing well. I hope that you are taking the care that you need this week for yourselves. I want to take a minute to close our space. Thank you to all of our sacredness for holding the space together, holding the rooms together. Thank you to our allies who were present, to the well ancestors, the seasons, the elements, the directions, the streams, the breezes, and the roots.